Take you up until 2 o'clock. I get with a weather update, Leroy, from the Demesman and Dover Law Firm. Your accidentattorneys.com. Free consultation 24/7. Call them at 866-954-MORE.
Let me see. I'm going to yank that up. There he goes.
He's looking, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Winds are coming out of the southeast at about, see some shrubbery going. I'd say 5 to 10 miles an hour. It seems rather light. It is partly to mostly cloudy, although I see some sun out over the water. And I'd say anytime it's cloudy like this, there's a slight chance of rain. Temperature is probably going to be right around 75, 80 degrees. And that's it.
Well, how'd you do, Frog Boy?
He did fantastic. Winds out of the southeast, just like he said, at 10 miles per hour, just like he said. One thing that got me this time, though, is he said it's kind of partly cloudy, mostly cloudy. And this actually says mostly cloudy skies early, then partly cloudy this afternoon.
That's a golfer, ladies and gentlemen.
I see, and I told you I saw the sun.
You did?
East.
Yeah, you nailed it, dude.
Hey,
81 degrees.
Look at that.
Now, did you see our wing stop?
And as you can see, I have no devices to give me temperature, wind, or direction, nothing.
Just a man who knows.
Look outside.
Knows his weather.
Puts it on the glass.
Another man who knows things or two about a thing or two is our guy here. Frog Boy.
Nicest thing you've ever
Mix it up, dude. The Mixed Bag is brought to you by Broward Health. Well into your future. What do we got today, Marcos, in the Mixed Bag?
All righty then. Let's get into the Mixed Bag. This Mixed Bag actually has a theme. Whiny little babies.
Oh,
that is the theme of this Mixed Bag.
I like when the Mixed Bag has a theme.
Yeah. We're gonna start with probably the more current story in all of our.
Is one of them you over free agency?
Oh, I will see if we have time. You never know. Never reveal what's in the Mixed Bag. This one is probably the most pressing story from free agency day one. The giant beef between Saquon Barkley and Tiki Barber. We finally get Tiki Barber's side following the exchange between the two.
So this is a day to reflect for Tiki Barber, you say?
This is day to reflect and determine whether or not this will escalate to a further beef between the two giant running backs.
This is just good local radio content. Saquon Barkley didn't take it that way. Good morning, Tiki. How would you sum up this back and forth?
No, I don't think it's really a back and forth, Dan. As you know, being in the industry as long as you have been, our job is to entertain, to inform, and sometimes get a little bit visceral because that's how the fan is. And they want to express themselves, but they don't often get a chance to call in and talk about it. So we do it for them. And look, that's how Giant fans were feeling about Saquon Barkley. I just happened to be the messenger that got the shrapnel from Saquon.
That's not true.
Decided to respond to the one-day story.
Are you going to respond to his response where he says that you've been a hater since he got to New York? All the dead to me talk. Don't smile in my face when you see me.
I smile at everybody, Dan. You know that. You've met me a couple of times. It's part of the job. It's part of the, I think, reaction that comes from athletes who think the media is always against them. But the reality is Giant fans loved Saquon Barkley. It just felt like it wasn't going to work out. Now we have to worry about him running all over us for the next 3 or 4 years down in Philadelphia. And that pains us. It really does. And it pains me. So, I mean, I still like Saquon. I wish him nothing but luck. But he also has to realize that my job for the last 17 years has not been to be in a locker room. It has been to be a voice of the fan.
All right. That was Dan Patrick show.
Yes.
I would say this. Like, there's nothing that pisses me off more than they make it sound like Saquon had a choice to stay in with New York or go to Philly. Right? That's the way they present this. They never say, oh, now he's in Philadelphia, but the Giants didn't want him. Mm-hmm. Right? The whole story has a different tone if that portion of it is mentioned.
This is one of those things, though. Like, I feel like the idea of the quote being written before it was heard Because it does come off
It
a
does-
lot worse
Here,
reading it than it did hearing it in the
here's
show.
the problem.
It did.
But it does, right? I'm telling you what this has to do with. It's not what was said. It's who was saying.
For sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
The dude with the red and blue beard saying it is different than Tiki Barber, Giants legend, saying it.
Right. And so from that standpoint, you know, one of the things that I always say about doing this is I always have to keep in mind I used to do that. Right?
Yeah, you had this with Braylon Edwards, right?
Right.
Back in the day.
Right. And he said something along the lines of Cleveland fans don't like me because I don't because I went to Michigan. And I'm like, no, they don't like you because you dropped the ball. They don't care where you go. You can't catch.
That's a point.
But I'm just saying, that's the reality of it. Right? They don't care where you went to school once you put on the brown and orange. And so, but I think Saquon is not complaining about what as much as he is who.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? Because although it's his job, and Tiki says it's my job to speak for the fan, you also have to let fans know how it works. You also have to let fans know the reality of these situations. And I think to just totally disregard that and say something like that, that's where a player could have a problem with it, right? That's where a player could really get, upset and pissed off.
I get that. I think the only thing that has happened though in today's day and age is because everything is so clipped and so sound. But you could say something that happened in 15 seconds. Like we say a lot of silly stuff on this show. If you clipped it, like this bastard over here, when he clips me with saying things about Tyler Hero out of context, that's not fair. I had that happen the other day with Dade South, where he said something that I said about Eric Spoelstra out of context. That's not fair.
But here's the deal:
if Eric Spoelstra sees that on Twitter, which he wouldn't, he doesn't have Twitter. But if Tyler Hero did, I'd be like, well, you didn't, but
But here's the deal:
the day and age we're in.
No. Here's the deal: when people hear us say silly and ridiculous stuff, right? They take it and laugh. And it's just like Bam responds to me.
That's not fair.
Wait.
I'm serious.
Bam responds to me tongue-in-cheek the way he hears the comments, right? It's never he's offended and, oh, you're just a hater. I don't know why. He doesn't go at it like that
because he's happy about the Domino's thing.
Huh? That's a whole different thing.
He says he's going to smoke you.
That's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing. You see what I'm saying? So from that standpoint, yeah.
What else we got in the mixed bag, Marcos?
Continuing this mixed bag of whiny little babies.
Is your food here? He looks like he's about to back off and leave us.
Yes, he's very far from his microphone.
Yep.
Nick Saban. You guys familiar with that fraud?
Hate him. Never been a fan.
Well, lucky for you, you won't have to see him on sidelines in Alabama as he retired. And one of the reasons why, according to him, is all the things he believes in no longer exist.
All the things that I believed in for all these years, 50 years of coaching, no longer exist in college athletics. So it's always was about developing players. It was always about helping people be more successful in life. My wife even said to me, we'd have all the recruits over on Sunday with their parents for breakfast. And she would always meet with the mothers and talk about how she was going to help and impact their sons and how they would be well taken care of. And she came to me, like right before I retired and said, why are we doing this? And I said, what do you mean? She said, all they care about is how much you're going to pay them. They don't care about how you're going to develop them, which is all what we've always done. So why are we doing this?
Well, you know what? I've never seen the storyline after the season where Nick Saban didn't win the national championship that, he decided to take less to, accommodate the school better. So, that's a crazy thing. Usually it's Nick Saban restructures deal. He's the highest paid coach again. So I don't know. But, good for Miss Terry. And she, I guess, is keeping those values together. Of course, the Sabans, they cannot
known for
stand the idea of standing by their word, like being the Dolphins head coach. But it's okay. I'm fine with that. You guys don't like the way things are. Did he have more jackassery to say about this?
Oh, yeah. I think he may have solved the idea, this whole money thing that he's talking about. This is his revenue sharing proposition that he, so brilliantly thought of.
If we could have some kind of a revenue sharing proposition that did not make student athletes employees, I think that may be the long-term solution. I think you could create a better quality of life for student athletes. You could still emphasize development, personal, academic, brand, and athletic development with a system like that. And it would be equal in all institutions. In other words, somebody couldn't go out and raise more money at one school to create a competitive advantage from another.
Wrong. Listen.
Wrong.
For the same reason why he gets paid more than the coach at Auburn, right? Certain people are going to get more than others. That's life.
Yeah, or South Alabama.
So you're telling me that quarterback that you talked into going to school is going to get the same amount as the kicker?
Come on.
I'm out. Yeah, I'm out. I'm out.
Revenue. Why don't you share your revenue, dude? How about that? How about you take your highest paid contract or whatever it may be, and you share your revenue, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be nice. That'd be nice to give back some of that money, seeing as you stole it from Miami.
Like it's enough. What are we doing this for? We're doing it. Okay, well,
yeah.
Why all of a sudden? Why every year when you would win a national championship do we have to do the dog and punch? Was he going to go to the NFL? Oh no, you wanted a new contract, right? You wanted to be compensated. Crazy, right? It's amazing. Look, you should say, and this would just be nice if any of these dirtbag coaches would actually acknowledge. You want to know what's crazy about it? Is that we have the second biggest sport in the country that more people tune in to watch college football on Saturdays than they do the NBA, than they do Major League Baseball, where guys are getting $400 million contracts. More people care about college football than they do Major League Baseball or hockey than they do about any other thing. It's NFL and then it's college. And what a country that we live in, that these collegiate athletes are so beloved and people are so interested in watching it and gambling on it that they tune in droves every single week to watch it, that we are now in a position where we can pay these kids because the business is booming so incredibly with our sport. But no, these frauds, these bums, these charlatans have to get up there and they have to say things like, this isn't the sport that I grew up in. No, it's not. You want to know something? It's not. Guess what? Times have changed. Everybody's gambling on it. Everybody's watching it. Everybody loves it. It ain't win one for the Gipper anymore, right? It's win one for the Tipper. And the worst thing I want is to go out there and make the most cash possible. You old man.
Hey, put that on the shirt.
It's enough already. Oh, this isn't what I fell in love with. Yeah, it's not. Guess what? Times have changed.
That was good.
It's not that anymore. What do you get for CBS? What do they pay to broadcast these days? What does ESPN pay to broadcast? Why do you think the college football playoff expands? Because there's more money than they know what to do with, and it doesn't get to all go to the fraud coaches because 3 of them win every year. Dabo Sweeney, we made our name, image, and likeness in the name of God.
Oh,
well, you guess what God does, dude? Every single Sunday, you know what you do? Collection plate.
Whoa!
And so why don't you do God a favor and pass the hat around to some of your players, you cheap bastard? Damn. This isn't what I fell in love with. Get the hell out of here. Sheesh. What a bunch of phonies. What a bunch of losers to say these kids, these poor kids. Oh, no. Sorry. For 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 years, you guys can scrap up a couple pennies to get some dollar menu items over at McDonald's. Heavens to Betsy. Oh, you want to put an Instagram ad? All you care about is the money. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. It's not like, and by the way, it's not even like you can have a job when you go and you play college football?
Too busy.
Miss Terry says, what are we even doing this anymore? I don't know. Why? What's she mad about? Because then all the money doesn't go to you?
Think she cooks that breakfast? It's a lot of people.
I don't know.
Whoa, my
Just
friend.
the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm glad I don't hear Cristobal say this nonsense.
Yeah,
I'm glad I don't. Because this is complete. You imagine if that dude had the balls to come over here and be like, yeah, you know what? I took $80 million to come over to the Miami Hurricanes, but I don't want any of my kids getting it. You know what a fraud you'd sound like?
Yeah.
Thank God I don't hear that nonsense from him. Want to know why? Because the dude played. He was in the trenches.
He's tough.
He's tough. He may not know when to kneel down, but he's tough, and he's a man of principle.
He's so tough. He doesn't know when to kneel down. Wow. I think you should put that on the shirt, though.
What?
No longer win one for the Gipper. It's win one for the Tipper.
Sometimes down here in Miami, it's win one for the stripper.
Whoa! Like that. Spring break.
That's in the U part 3. When we rise from the ashes and finally get one, dude.
Love that. That was impressive.
Dade South says stifling young people to not get paid. That's not tough. It's not tough.
That's not tough.
It's not tough. Oh, this isn't the game I fell in love with. You mean when you got all the money?
Yeah.
What is this? I don't understand this. Yeah, that's why you couldn't hack it in the pros, dude. Because Jason Taylor was making more money than you. Zach Thomas didn't respect what you said. You dwarf.
It's true.
Anyway, I think our wings are here.